What's up guys, Wild Customs here, and today we're going to take a look at the original DC Superheroes Doomsday figure. Now, I know a lot of people are excited about the new one coming out from Mattel Collector. It's a great looking figure. I think it looks pretty good too, but in my opinion, just too big. I read all the comic books, I have all the comic books, I never saw Doomsday being that huge. Now I know they probably used a certain base to make it, obviously, and that's how it turned out, but I do prefer this one a little bit better in my opinion. This one isn't perfect scale, but it's close enough in my opinion. I'll put some pictures up also so I could try to prove my point, but other than that, I just want to go over this figure because some people might forgot about it, or you know, it's nice to go down memory lane. So let's take a look at him right now. Alright, so taking a look at Doomsday up close, when you look at him, you have to admire the nice sculpting and paintwork on him. The paintwork looks really nice. I have to say, I think it looks a little bit better on this one than the new one coming out. But back then, the DC Superheroes line was really detailed, and every figure from it looked great. Unlike the DC Classics and Universe figures, they definitely put a lot more details back then. But taking a look at this figure, you can see the nice. I like the dark gray skin tone, and you can see a lot of black shading all over the figure. Even in the details, you can see the arms, the ripples, all look a lot nicer in general. Looking at the bones, a lot of bones sticking out of him. A lot of them are hard sculpted plastic, a lot of them are soft rubber. Mostly all the ones that are sticking out like spikes are soft rubber, which is a good touch. But as you can see, even though it's soft rubber, they didn't really skimp out on it. They still put a lot of details in it as well, which looks really good. And even some shading as well, which is pretty nice. Mine has some other colors on it because it's an old figure, and he's been sitting in a box, so if other figures and some paint rub might have came off, so don't pay attention to that. But still looks really good for the sculpting at least. Now looking at Doomsday's head, I do wish it was a little bit bigger, but for what it's worth, if you look at the positives, it doesn't look that bad. Did a great job on the bones over the eyes. I like the bones over his jawline over here too, and on the bottom over here also, it is a little bit, it's soft rubber, so you can actually move his mouth up and down a little bit. You can open it up, you can see it's red inside as well, so it kind of imitates the inside of his mouth. So it's kind of interesting. I do wish it was a little bit bigger, but if you look at it sculpt wise, it really isn't that bad. Going down to the rest of the body, you can see over here he has a torn up outfit from when he used to have the whole thing, so it's a nice touch right there. Looks pretty good. He has more spikes on his knees, which are soft rubber as well. The base over here though is hard rubber. You can kind of see the difference in color. I'm not really sure if it used to be the same color back in the day, or it just, you know, over time it just started to warp. Who knows? And down here he has just regular boots. Alright, so taking a look at the sculpting and details on the paintwork, I have to say I do think this figure looks, I say it looks better than the new one coming out. I know the new one is a lot bigger and people like the big size of it, but in all reality, and if you think about it, you know, it doesn't have as much detail as this one. The other one's a lot bigger, but sometimes that's a drawback. After watching some reviews, it looks like it's not as easy to move around the joints. You're not going to get a cool menacing pose like this. I'll tell you that one, at least. This one, you know, he might have a small head, but if you maneuver it right, he could look really menacing just like that, which is pretty cool. I don't know, I might get the new one, who knows. It still looks pretty promising, but if I get a good price for it, I will. But honestly, I do like this one that way it is. Going into articulation really quickly, he has a ball jointed head that goes up a little bit, down a little bit, but it does go left and right, and also tilts that way as well, so that's a nice touch for posing him and taking pictures. His shoulders on hinge joints are rotate, but they are hindered from the spikes, which are all hard plastic. So they go back, up and down pretty nicely, a little bit in, a little bit out, but they are hindered. Going to the bicep swivel over here, one point at the elbow, wrist joint over here, a very nice ab joint, like that. Waist swivel, T-jointed hips, so they go up, back a little bit, in and out. Thigh swivel, one point at the knee, and a 1 point hinge at the ankle. So standard articulation for a DC Universe and Classics or Superheroes figure, whatever you want to call it. But you're still getting some nice poses as well. Alright guys, size comparisons. Now here, like I said before, he isn't the best scaled figure, but he's decent enough for me. He's a little bit taller than him, but still has a bigger body. This is the new Superman. He's a little bit smaller, so I think it fits a lot better. but I know a lot of people are gonna say he's still too small. But in my opinion, I'd rather have him at this size than having him at like, you know, 15 feet tall or 15 inches tall, you know, whatever. Where his arms are as big as Superman's body. This doesn't, it's not the same thing how it used to be in the comics. And I'll show you right here some pictures from the comic books. So after looking at those pictures, you can see why I might like this one over the new one coming out. I'm not saying this one's perfect. It could be a little bit bigger, but for my own preference and how I like it, it's perfect for me at least. And if you're like me, who likes to take pictures for ACBA, also toy photography on Instagram, it's a lot easier to manage. Also a lot easier to get into nice poses. For instance, right here, if I want to take a shot, a zoom in, this would be a nice picture right there. And if you wanted to use a new one coming out, it'd be a lot harder because Doomsday's head is huge. His fist also are as big as, you know, Superman's whole body. It's just a lot harder to do. If you look at the comics, you'll see when they punch each other, you know, their head to fist are pretty good scale right here. But like I said before, it's all by preference. I'm well aware that in different artists, also incarnations on animation movies, you know, they have made Doomsday a lot bigger. So like I said, it's just preference. You might like it bigger, I like it like this. But either or, I like to point out that I do believe this is a very underrated figure. I think a lot of people just count it out because of the size. I think it's pretty good if you look at the scale. You know, try not to look at that. You look at just the pros about it, the sculpting, the paint job. It's a pretty decent figure. And that's about it, guys. So do you like the figure? Not like it? Leave a comment below. And that's about it, guys. So thanks for watching. Like always, comment, criticize, subscribe, do whatever you want, just pay attention. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go to wildlandcustoms.com. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and peace!